with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Digestif. How we doing? Sunday night fun here at the Music Lab. As always, I'm Sam Mushman, comedian sommelier. Mr. Robbie Sco to my right. How you doing?
Good, man. It's cracking.
Not too much. I love the delicate, wavy part that your hair is right now. It's a layered, but it's also parting. It's like it's floating with the wind. It looks like a current gently going downstream.
It's a different vibe today. A little disheveled, a little New York City.
New York City.
Speaking of such, Lucas Perez to my left. How you doing?
What's up, man? Good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Do you wish you were from the 70s?
I do.
You do, right?
I am.
That would have been a good generation for you.
Superfly.
2022 is a weird generation for you. 2022 is like your metaverse. You don't know what to do. You're just kind of walking around existing.
Yeah, I don't fit in, man.
It's okay.
I fell into a time machine, man.
I don't think any of us do in this room, to be frank. How are things? Things are going dandy. It is rapidly getting warmer outside, which means that the two gentlemen in this room with me might start playing their instrumentals outside. One of them, if he's booked and doing a thing. The other one, if he's just roaming the lands. That's your MO. You're a legend for that.
I'm the Highland? No. What's the word?
That's how prospector. That's how I met him, actually.
Yeah, you met him on the street. We've all met him on the street.
Everyone who knows me right now met me on the street. Guys, I was literally a street performer, subway busker for years.
Yeah.
Years and years and years.
My dad takes full credit for our friendship. He acted like he adopted you and then said, look what I found. Why don't you become friends? And then I had to go, I don't want to be friends with street performers. And he goes, just give him a chance. You know, he was on sale. I picked him up. Yeah, can you just give him a chance?
He's wearing a double-breasted velvet jacket.
You know, look what he's wearing. Do you understand how hard that is to put on a doll? You have to like find the right cut, the right fit, and the hair is real. It's like it's wool. It's all high end product. It came from overseas, but we don't ask any questions. That's your entire vibe. Yeah. Are there any friendships not started that way for you?
Well, one recent one is through the Instagram. I think the Nick Ryan one was through Instagram.
Yeah, Nick was
more
through Instagram.
21 type.
Nick was through Instagram because I went viral playing on the streets.
You went viral playing on the streets, and then Nick found out through Instagram, or as we know, for him, it what was it, like Disney Funhouse? He saw it, and then you guys connected.
Those inner channels.
You know?
Yeah, man.
It was on Bitch's page. Bitch has like 5 million or something followers.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, her name's Bitch. Yeah, she's the one that recorded. I was in Hoboken. I was on Washington. Just playing out there, played Hairless Whisper. Some guy, top floor of the apartment building across the street, brings out his sax. And we're having a sax battle across the street from each other. Got like 1 million views.
Is part of your ultimate goal for a middle-aged white woman to adopt you?
No, but it's probably going to happen.
It's a subliminal goal. It's a goal that you put some thought into. You don't talk about it openly, but you make yourself very vulnerable.
What does that mean?
But you're attractive vulnerable. Vulnerable means that a middle-aged white woman could adopt you and not face any sort of repercussions from it. That means if she can pull that off, that means you are vulnerable. You understand?
I'm always vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, we are drinking some wine tonight. Nice little wine episode. We're going to cover a very classic region today on the show for the Digestif. We are drinking some lovely Bordeaux wine from this lovely French region of southwestern France known as Bordeaux. It's a city that sits along a river. That river funnels into the Atlantic Ocean, and there's two sides of the river. That's what's really important about Bordeaux. A lot of people don't fully understand the two sides of the river. The river is a Grande River, and it's broken down into the left bank of the river and the right bank of the river. On the left bank is the city of Bordeaux, and there's also a ton of vineyards just north of it that are mainly based up of Cabernet Sauvignon and Merlot. And that is what we are drinking. We are drinking, actually, what do we have? Chateau Beaumont. This is also known as a Cru Bourgeois. What does that mean? Cru Bourgeois is a small group of individual winemakers that don't have the funding or the type of marketing to be a major chateau. So they come together and they label their wines under Cru Bourgeois. This is important for you to understand because in Somerville, you are a Cru Bourgeois. You roam the lands and you don't have the funding or marketing to be adopted by a middle-aged white woman, so you roam and you label all of your beats under a Cru Bourgeois. Or also known as, Jerry's pet pal.
He was fun last night.
We're not talking about that. I have no energy to put into that.
Right.
Absolutely none. It's bad for the show. It's not entertaining. No one knows what the fuck we're talking about.
2 glasses.
But
R.I.P.
the reality is we are drinking a Left Bank Bordeaux. So this is Cabernet Sauvignon, about 60%. The 40% is Merlot. So this is more of a beefy style Bordeaux wine. Whereas on the right bank, we are also there's also a ton of iconic wine made on the right bank of Bordeaux, but it's more Merlot based, and the rest is Cabernet Franc, which is a parent grape of Cabernet Sauvignon. But Cabernet Franc is lighter, more peppery, more vegetal. Cabernet Sauvignon tends to be beefier, more tannic, more fruit forward. So this is interesting because you have this relationship of 2 big time regions within a region that are making 2 styles of Bordeaux wine. But this is a unique one for you, Robbie. I want you to tell me your thoughts about this wine. We're going to smell it, taste it. The interesting thing about Bordeaux is the minerality. It tastes like the soil that it's in, It's kind of like if you eat ass, right? If you're in a relationship and you enjoy fondling your woman's butthole with your tongue, you may get more intensified in that experience, right? So then what happens? You come home the next day, and the other girl you're dating is like, why the fuck does your face smell like someone's ass? It's because you are like a Bordeaux wine. You're showing minerality. You're showing the soil that you were grown in. You were in that asshole all night. Lick, lick, lick. How many licks does it take, right? And now it's coming out. Same way, the soil comes out a lot in Bordeaux wines, and that's what we call minerality in wine. So if you get even a little bit of a tertiary, almost like a wet rock, graphite type of aroma in the wine, there's a little bit of it there. You're also going to get some fruit. You're going to get some red and black fruit probably. But then, take a couple sips. By the second, third sip, let's talk about what do we think?
Oh, nice. Yeah, one thing I love about it, like you're saying, the earthy tones and everything, it's just one of those that really pushes me further towards just being a red guy. Like, I love red wine because it's very much not like something. It just goes down so nice. I get a little bit of fruitiness, a little bit of earthiness, but it's just something where, like, if I compare this to like just some of those like spritzy or just like tart white wines. This is just I was go for something like this.
For sure. And you really should do that. I think it's important that you do that because I think the goal for you is to have your own place one day, and you're just going to have a really glorious bathtub. And you're going to sit in that bathtub and you're going to just plot your next ridiculous adventure. And you're just going to have a little glass of red wine in your bathtub, and you're going to look like nothing short of an absolute psychopath, but you're going to be plotting your next thing. You're going to have a little bathroom keyboard that you play, and red wine fits that vibe for you.
I don't know if I actually mentioned this, or maybe you just know me so well. But yeah, there was one time where I was in the bathtub for about an hour and a half reading like a self-help book and like taking notes, and I had like
no,
it's before you moved in, and there was
not in that bathroom,
and there was like a few,
Saying it was.
and there was like a few beers on the ledge I had like ready to go.
Yeah.
It was like years ago.
Yeah, you were grown into yourself. That's a vibe for you.
And just getting being in a room isolated from my ex, which is good. It was hard,
For
it was
sure.
hard to
For
get
sure.
away in the same building.
Yeah. Bordeaux will take you away. Bordeaux will take you to a place. Bordeaux is interesting because when we talk about the side of the river that we're drinking, the left bank, this was a river that this was a region of land that was designated by Napoleon back in 1851. He designated plots of land by groves. He did first grove, second grove, third, fourth, and fifth, and he went in order of the chateaus at the time. the quality, the just the feel, the vibe, what he thought was more superior wine, he labeled by chateau, right? So if you had a big, nice palace of a chateau, you could have been a first or second growth wine. It's the douchiest way to label wine, because the way you actually want to do it is based on terroir. That's how Burgundy divides up their wine. It's based off of the actual vineyard. There's Grand Cru vineyards, there's Premier Cru vineyards, and there's just village level vineyards, and then like fucking table wine. And it's based on the land and the soil and all the important stuff that actually makes wine great. So Bordeaux did it in a very different way, and a lot of people kind of scoff at the rankings now because it was such a outdated way to do it, but we still honor the first through fifth gross. And then meanwhile, the right bank wasn't really doing as much at the time, and over time, the right bank style of Bordeaux wines, the Merlot, Cabernet Franc wines, started to get more and more popular, but they were also doing their own thing. It's very similar to the Russia-Ukraine situation.
Ooh.
Russia is the left bank. Ukraine is the right. Ukraine broke off and decided to start a culture, decided to do their own thing. Russia did not like that, right? Don't give me that face. We're talking about the Russia-Ukraine debate today. We're talking about the Russia-Ukraine debacle. It's okay. All right? Everything's going to be fine. But if we're going to make it fun and lighthearted, we're going to compare it to Bordeaux. And we're going to say, the idea if the left bank started bombing the right bank, it would be in the identity of the left bank to do so, because they believe that their wines are superior and they're designated in a quality that's kind of douchey and gotten very dictatorship-esque, So, and the right bank has slowly become better and better as a civilization or as a wine style. So, we can draw some parallels. Does that make sense, Lucas?
Yes, it does. Makes perfect sense.
It's a scary thoughts, man. Superior.
Yeah. I feel like you can hear a pin drop in the room. Nobody wants to talk about their thoughts on this debacle.
Right.
Lucas, what side are you on?
What side am I on?
Yeah, you got to pick a side.
I'm on the good side.
Yeah, it's tough to know what to do, right? We're all over here. I mean,
I don't know shit.
I've donated to some Ukrainian causes,
shit.
and I hope it goes to good sources. But
Well, the reason I'm asking you, Lucas, is because, there was a conference held 2 days ago where the lovely Marjorie Taylor Greene was speaking about this topic. She's picked a side. She's on the side of Russia. She believes that Putin is doing a fine job, and that, you can compare Putin to Hitler, and that is a good thing. This was going on at a white nationalist convention recently. This is a lot for you right now to take in. I'm looking at your face.
Who?
Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Her name's Marjorie?
Marjorie. She was in Congress. She was representing Georgia for a while, and she was giving her thoughts on the matter, and she was claiming that essentially that Russia was technically in the right, that a Hitler style of person is good for civilization. That's kind of the point that she was getting towards.
it's absurd, and the people in the conference were agreeing with her.
It was a white supremacist type of conference vibe. There were some comments. There were some points made.
Wow.
Republican leadership condemned for failing to discipline Georgia Congresswoman for speaking at far right summit. It was in Orlando, Florida. First of all, are you surprised? I feel like you guys are surprised. It was in Orlando. Okay? Walt Disney was a white supremacist. We know this. Goofy's Russian. Who still thinks he's not? He's a Russian hack.
One thing it's hopefully good news, but it seems like most of the rest of the world is just not about what Russia's doing right now. I think even like China is not even necessarily happy about what's going on. And it seems like Putin, even among his own people, Putin's being like kind of realized. So potential for beginning of the end. Probably not a quick end.
Well, the organizer,
here he is,
Nick Fontes, far right extremist, told attendees, now they're going on about Russia and Vladimir Putin is Hitler. They say that's not a good thing, and he burst into laughter as he added, "I shouldn't have said that." Volantis recently subpoenaed for his involvement in the Jan 6 insurrection, very on brand, proudly introduced Taylor Greene at the 3rd Annual America First Political Action Conference. The Georgia Congresswoman told the gathering they were canceled Americans who had a responsibility. Here's what would be great, though. Here's the thing. Here's the good out of this, right? Is if the entire world comes together to defend Ukraine, Ukraine gets through this, right? And then Putin sits back at a conference and goes, now they're canceling me. That he just starts ripping and trying to say he's canceled and draws such a absurdity to cancel culture that cancel culture becomes abolished. That would be a silver lining.
Oh, my God.
Think about that. Putin now believes he's being canceled, and that would enlighten us to all go, do we really need cancel culture? Is it really beneficial at this point?
Mm-hmm. And who would latch on to all that? I guess Republicans would be like, oh, yeah, let's get rid of cancel culture.
They would latch. They would latch hard. It's one of those things where it's incredible to see what certain individuals, if you really, I mean, the thing about America is if you really double down on your views and thoughts, people kind of leave you alone. Like why isn't this conference more in the news? People are leaving it alone.
I didn't see it anywhere.
You didn't see it anywhere because if this was Marjorie's first time out in the town and she was a little bit timid about her thoughts and views and premises, this would be all over. CNN would have a field day with this because they know that they could make a huge stink of it and shut it down. But at this point, these people have doubled down so many times that they're, it's interesting. I watched that documentary I was telling you about before we started the show about the Fire Festival.
Oh, dude.
You've seen that, right?
That's absurd.
The festival that never happened on the fake island, where it wasn't an island. It was kind of just a parcel of land and then they didn't have any of the things that said they were going to have. Ja Rule was involved.
Yeah, they roped in like a whole bunch of influencers and they were like, yeah, we're going to pay you X $1,000 to promote. Oh, yeah.
But that's an example if Putin was in charge of a festival and just not a country, it would be the Fire Festival. Because if Marjorie Taylor Greene was in charge of a festival instead of a state's politics, it would be the Fire Festival, and that would be a fun festival. That's the silver lining here. It's like they're in charge of the wrong thing. They're in charge of things that are too serious,
way too big.
Like you got to get this dictator out of here, and you got to give him a little festival. Let him run a festival. Let it be like a nonprofit. And it would go horribly wrong, but it would be kind of cool. It would be different. It wouldn't be any worse than Coachella.
Yeah, so much easier, like a food truck festival.
Yeah.
A little 7-Eleven, just something a little smaller.
Yeah, exactly. Because the gentleman that ran the Fire Festival, he was so confident in his view. I did about him respect that. I respected how much he just didn't really break under pressure. But at the same token, it was just being a complete monster. Didn't pay anybody, hired a bunch of people, kept borrowing money from other people, got a fake investment that never actually happened, told them that a bunch of bands were playing in the festival that weren't actually. He had Blink-182, I think, playing at one point, and they found out that there weren't any resources there, so they pulled out last minute. And he made all this fake marketing, right, of all these promos of a bunch of women in bikinis on a perfect beach. They all thought all the people going to the festival had a lot of money, a lot of trust fund babies. They all paid all exclusive memberships for the festival in advance. So he was able to take that money and keep funneling it into this disaster. They were all told that they were going to get their own condos, little villas. They were going to go wave running or something.
I was like, how did you even think it was going to end?
And they ran out of money, and then he convinced the people going to the festival that, hey, you need to get these all-inclusive passes, but you have to pay up front if you really want to have the full experience. And he did that so that they would give him more money before the festival started so that he could try to pull it off. But essentially what happened, it was, they get there, they fly all these rich kids down. There's no island. It's like in a weird corner of a country, and there's just little, those igloo paper houses set up, little shitty igloo houses. And they said the food was going to be Michelin starred. It was going to be Michelin starred chefs. And all they had was ham sandwiches. A bunch of ham. So now there's no music. it was raining, and all these rich kids were in these little paper houses that they paid $10,000 for, eating ham and cheese sandwiches.
Disaster.
That sounds like Putin Fest.
Putin Fest.
Does that not sound like a Putin Fest? If that kid was in charge of a country like the Soviet Union, I mean, would anything different be happening right now?
It's absurd.
Maybe they would just be having a couple more festivals, but they would still be trying to take over shit.
Yeah, it is crazy. Putin's apparently been going in for a while. I think he invaded Georgia in like 2008. It's like 14 years ago. He was just still crushing. So that's so many years to just be
To hold that grudge, you know? That would be like at like a 50th high school reunion. You just still you finally asked the girl out that you wanted freshman year, you know? You finally just go ahead and do it. Which I don't put past Lucas. I can see him at the Somerville 50-year reunion. It's like, you know what? I never did it. I'm going in. I'm going in.
Oh, dude, this guy, he thinks he's got women figured out.
Yeah.
The
thing is, there's nothing to figure out. That's the truth. It's simple, really. They just want to have fun. There's a song, actually.
Oh, boy.
See, like, this is your problem. What they want to do, they want to talk about Ukraine, but you don't want to go there. And then you just try to talk about suits and accessories and other stuff, and they all want to just have your penis one time, right? But if a bunch of women are fighting over that one time, experience of your penis, then it's going to be like this. It's going to be like this Russian invasion. It's going to happen one time. Everyone else is going to get involved. Shut it down. I'm going to keep comparing things to Russia. You guys can try to stop me. You're not going to stop me. But Lucas's penis.
About our audience.
Lucas's penis is Russia right now. It's coming down. But that's the difference. If you talk some world politics,
I come off like an actually intellectual man.
well, no, I think you'd be able to rule out who's going to wrong you quicker.
Ooh.
That's the issue. That's why you're getting wronged. That's why you're getting baggage. Because you can only talk about suits for so long.
I don't bring it up unless they do, and they always do. I was always talking about how I look.
Yeah.
He said even today he does have kind of a fear of going into worldly things, fear of going into deep things. Remember,
He's been scared this entire podcast.
and you just scared even today. Some girls like talking about her emotions or something. You just got terrified.
Yeah.
It's like you can't go past
I'm a
this.
pussy, guys. What can I say? I'm a fucking pussy. Okay, I don't want the responsibility of someone else's life and how they dealt with what happened, and also I don't want to trust or risk trusting that they have my back. So
That was the most unpussy thing you ever said. You've opened up and you've admitted it. Give this man a round of applause. There we go. Hey.
I'm a pussy. I'm scared. I'd rather just bang the first night right now. Right now, that sounds more fun.
For sure.
Know what I mean?
For sure.
You guys know what I mean? I don't know. But you're right. Yeah, they all want one night. It's just one. They don't want to know me. I can get a first date. I can't get a second because it's just not. It never happens.
They're trying to dive deep, right? Like, tell me about your mother.
The girl today was trying to talk about family shit. Mm-hmm. And then she starts opening up about her stuff, and then I'm like, it's early on, and I'm like, maybe I need to, build a little rapport there. I'm like, yeah, my family stuff sucks too, but this place is really nice. And she's like, oh, what happened with your mom? What are you? And we're just going in about, and then I'm like, oh yeah, my mom, she's. How's the drink doing? And
Yeah.
she keeps going back to that.
You utilize dates as a way to kind of zone out when a lot of women want to zone in. You utilize your first dates the way I utilized my men's basketball league that I'm in right now. I'm in a men's basketball league on Wednesday nights. Did I tell you guys about this yet?
Oh yeah.
It's a 30 and over league. It's like those are the type of things that you do as you're approaching like a retirement home type of thing. Like I'm going to play in a certain age limit and up. That's what you do, But But it's a fascinating experience because everybody else this is their weekly Super Bowl. This is a passionate game, and it is my opportunity to zone out. I enjoy talking smack on the basketball court.
Do you?
Something I've always enjoyed doing. But I talk smack in a unique way. I talk smack with an inside voice. I do not raise my voice because two things happen. When you talk shit on the basketball court with an inside voice, the first thing is
so much more serious.
You make them listen.
So much more
because
real.
they can't hear you. And you don't care if they hear everything you said because you're talking in a voice like this, right? So
give me an example.
The idea of talking smack, right, as we know in society, is like you think of like Kevin Garnett, like crazy guy yelling in your face. Blah, blah. That is one way to talk smack, right? But there's other ways. There's other art forms in talking smack. Prime example was in last week's game, right? So my game consists of shooting random open 3-pointers haphazardly and making weird awkward moves at the basket and trying to get fouled and making foul shots. That's kind of my game. So I was doing well, and I scored like 4 or 5 buckets in a row. And this one guy I was covering, he was kind of like a slightly more dumpy version of me with longer hair, so he wasn't happy. And he's who I'm going to be in another couple years. So I wasn't happy either because I looked at him and I said, this ain't looking good, right? Mm-hmm. So, at one point I catch the ball in the paint and I do a little post move, and I was trained when I played this game in college at a pretty high level. I'm not going to totally shit on this, but I know what I'm doing. I'm just not in shape, right? I can score 35, 40 points in these games, but it looks horrible. You'd be like, that is the worst 40-point game I've ever seen. How can someone be that bad and score that much? Like, that's where my game's at, right? So I catch the ball and I do a little hook shot. And when I go up for a hook shot, I put like an arm bar out, which is a legal move, right? I don't jump up in the air with my hand out, and I don't hit the guy with my hand because that would be an offensive foul. But I put like an arm bar up, which is kind of my personal space. I have the right to that space, right? And I go up for it. He slaps my arm for the 15th time because he doesn't know what he's doing. And so, foul. I missed the shot, but I'm going to the foul line again, right? So he gets all in his feelings, and he's like, yelling at the ref, hey, it's an offensive foul. Blah, blah. You got to call this. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's like, okay, Wednesday Night Men's League. Let's calm down, right? And I looked at him. I said, in this exact voice, I said, no, that was not an offensive foul. It was a forearm. I have the right to my own space. He said, no, you hit me. I'm like, well, no, you hit me. We're hitting each other, but you hit me in my personal space, and that's why I'm at the line shooting foul shots right now, and you're not. So that's like one thing it is, right? And all I do is acknowledge what's happening. It's the best way to talk trash, right?
Passive-aggressive piano lessons.
It's the best way, right? So then he's like, he still complains. He's like, this guy gets every call, blah blah. I'm like, well, I talk right back to him. I'm like, well, I know how to play the game. I played the game for a very long time. And, This is why I'm scoring, and this is why I'm scoring, and you're not. This is what it is. I didn't make up the rules.
Oh my God.
I'm just following the rules of the game that I've known how to play my entire life because I did this paid for school for me. Like sorry, not sorry. This was something before I even knew I wanted to do comedy or wine or any other horse shit. My life was dedicated to this game. It's a very important game to me. It's not important now. But you are getting scored on because you don't know how to defend me. That's okay. No one's going to hold it against you, right? So I come down the next play. So I'm having this conversation with him. He's all angry. And then he comes down. He shoots another brick. I let him know that it wasn't a good shot. And I said, he shot the ball. And I just looked at him. And because he didn't catch it on the second pass, like what you want to do with basketball, you want to let the game come to you. Meaning, if you come down on the court and the first pass over to you, you jack up a three, it's not a good shot because no one's in position to get a rebound for you. No one's set yet. What you want to do is you want to pass that ball around, let it come back to you on the second kick, and then you shoot. Then people are more, So he goes up, jacks up the shot, and I just say to him, I'm like, it's not a good shot. And I just, like that, And he's like, why don't you shut the fuck up? And I go, sure. I mean, I'm still going to talk to other people. I'm just not going to talk to you. And so we go down. And I said, basketball is a communicative game. You're constantly talking. So you're not going to tell me to just stop talking. I'm going to talk to everybody but you. So then, see how you like that? Because I thought we were having a great conversation.
Giving
So now
treatment.
you lost my great conversation. That's on you. You lost that. You're never getting it back. So we come down again this time around. What's it called? So to set the stage here, right? Similar to Lucas's amazing outfit, right? This league, we're the only team that's first year in this league. We just threw a couple guys together that we knew, and we don't really have real jerseys. We're called the green team, right? So we all wear different shades of green. I wear a green T-shirt. My teammate wears a green tank. We're the green team. Every other team has an official name. They have official jerseys, right? And these guys, because they've been doing this for many, many years, right? This is a big, important hobby to them, which is why.
Everyone like your height.
It's a decent league.
Everyone played in college and stuff, and like.
I don't know about that. I think it's very hit or miss. Some teams you got guys that played, Big East and ACC basketball. Next team, there was one guy that played in junior college. You don't know, right? But they have phenomenal, beautiful. They have beautiful jerseys. They have these beautiful pinstripe jerseys with their team name on it and everything, and matching shorts. Like they invested in this experience, which I respect, because we did not invest in this experience. We're the green team, right?
Yeah.
So we come down, and the next trip down, or a couple plays later, I get a rebound or something, and I go back up, and he fouls me again, right? And again, he's complaining that he did not foul me, right? And I was on the foul line, and I said, hey man, I was like, you're gonna keep fouling me if you smack my arm. I'm like, that is my personal space. I have the right to that space, And he goes, no, you just get every call, because you joke around with the refs and this and that, which I do. I'm always talking to the refs. But when I used to play, I used to always be talking shit to the refs, and that was an immature thing to do at the time. I was not seasoned enough. Now I know to make the refs your best friend, and you will get every call. It's a simple part of the game. It's another part of the game. So then he said that to me, and that finally got under my skin a little bit, because don't you try to insult the fact that I make the refs have a great day. They're here making minimum wage to ref you idiots, me and you. You could at least be nice to them, right? They're good guys, So I said, well, this is what happens when you wear nice pinstripe jerseys. You expect to get every call, and you don't. You don't get every call. And that's not my fault. I didn't do that. And that put him over the edge. He's like, what'd you say? He's like, what the fuck did you say to me? I'm like, all I said to you is, I'm wearing a green T-shirt. You're wearing a lovely jersey. That doesn't mean you should get every call. It just means you have a lot of time on your hands. That's all it means. I didn't do that. I am just commentating on the situation. And I did not raise my voice once. He's raised his voice. I am simply just being observatory to what's going on. So at the end of the game, they're up by like 6-8 points. They're going to win because we're not a good team. The green team's not very good. Spoiler alert. The green team's not that great. Okay? Spoiler alert. But we have to make a couple shots, and then we have to foul them and hope they miss foul shots so we can get the ball back quick and try to come back. So we're doing that. We keep fouling these guys, and what I do in that situation is when the guy's shooting the ball, the other team to shoot foul shots, I don't talk shit to him because that's disrespectful. You don't do that. That's not good sportsmanship. But I talk. I just talk. I talk to anybody. I talk to someone in the stands. I talk to the ref. I talk to the team. I talk because it's distracting. So then now he's distracted, but you can't really get mad at me because I'm just being a nice, happy person talking. That's all I'm doing, right? So he's on the foul line, getting ready to shoot, and I just look at the ref. I'm like, I turn to the ref. I'm like, hey, man, I am this close to pulling a hammy, man. I don't know what the hell got into me. Blah, 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 and I'm talking, and then he misses the first foul shot. I stop, and I'm going to sit there. And then he gets the ball again, blah, blah. And the name of their team was Max's Squad. It said Max's Squad in these pinstripe jerseys. It was just horrible, right? And so he gets the ball for the second shot, and as he's getting ready to shoot, I look at his teammate, and I'm like, so who is Max? Is this the team captain? Is this one of the investors? I mean, who is Max? And I'm asking, and he's just right, and he misses it. He misses again. like it doesn't, you should make that foul shot. Like me saying that shouldn't be that distracting, So we come down and we score. Now we're getting the game closer, and we got to foul him again, and he comes back to the line, does the same thing, So he shoots again, and I'm like, so your name is Max. He's getting ready to shoot. As he's going to shoot, I'm like, So the team's name is Max's squad, but no one knows who Max is. Is that what I'm gathering from this? Yeah. And he misses again. And then he looks at me and goes, "Hey, man, why don't you just shut up?"
Taking it seriously.
Yeah. And then I turn to the ref and I go, "Are you going to allow this?" Because I feel attacked. I am here for an experience. I paid $347 before the league started for an experience. You guys paid so that you could win a paper mache trophy or whatever the fuck they give out. That's on you. I paid for an experience, which was to sweat with 9 other lovely men on a Wednesday night, burn some calories, and talk some shit in my way. This smack talking is pretty original to me. I used to do this in college, but I would research the people we were going to play for the next school over. We were going to go up against Philly U. The next day, I would look up who I was guarding, try to get some fun facts.
Oh my God.
And then I would talk to him throughout the game. I would say, like I'm guarding you caught the ball, and you're looking at the rim, then you pass the ball, you're going to cut through a screen. And as you cut through the screen, I might just say, were you supposed to go Division I? I thought you had some D1 offers. I remember at the Eastern Invitational Clinic, you weren't gonna. I guess I get my shit confused, and then I just that's how you just put little things in their heads, little tiny thing. I fester with you. And a lot of players can't do that because they have shame, and it affects their overall game because they're trying to focus on what they're doing. But I don't have any shame, so it works for me. Because I can still focus on my game on offense, but on defense I can do that. So that has been what's happening on my Wednesday nights. That's why I couldn't do the podcast last Wednesday. I was having a podcast in itself with this lovely gentleman, just with no microphones. But if we were mic'd up, it would have been gold for the podcast. Absolute gold. So that's the dichotomy of a men's league.
I can imagine little scenes of you doing that, even in your different. Like in college, just like bringing up like super specific things, like
And the best part, what also makes a good trash talker that a lot of basketball and football players don't understand is you have to be self-deprecating. Because if you make fun of yourself, they have nothing that they can say. Because anyone that talks shit, they just think, "Oh, I'm just gonna talk shit at you," and it's like, no, I'm talking shit at you right now by going, "Man, I'm really not that good at this game, and I'm kicking your ass." Like, that's the type of things. That's the type of vibe you want to give off. Like, I'm really out of shape right now, but you ain't shit. Like, that's the kind of vibe, because that's fun. Because now if they're like, I'm missing another shot, I would say absolutely I'm missing another shot. I have not been shooting, and I'm, right now very cold. But it's a whole art form. Are we having G&Ts?
G&Ts?
G&T time. What was there any sport of choice that you guys enjoyed in an intramural setting? Basketball was your jam, right?
I was a shooter, bro.
You were a shooter, right? So how do you feel? Were you a trash talker at all, or did you play with trash talkers?
No. I never trash talk. Never. No, I never trash talk. Yeah. I was the shortest guy every time too. And so like taller people, and it's just true with you and me. Like I hesitate to even joke with, because I'm like, if I rub you the wrong way, you could annihilate me physically. So I'm just like,
see, but that's
take a shot.
That's an interesting take you make, because I'm going to respectfully rebuttal that, right? Because here's the thing: I've been put in situations in my playing career where I've had to cover people that were athletically or physically superior to me, right? More times than not, right? And I found it that, if you're going to get dominated physically, you have to dominate them mentally. Mm-hmm. Because that kind of will even it out a little bit more. So if you can dominate them mentally, if you can be a little wittier than them, and you have to dominate them mentally, and then now they're so focused on how much they can't stand you that they're not focusing on kicking their ass, which is what they should be doing. It's just kicking your fucking ass, So that's what's fun about that. But in a men's league, it's fun because everyone's now out of shape. So you can dominate someone mentally, and then if you're also at the same level physically, that's when it gets fun.
Oh, I had Ray Allen style jump. You know Ray Allen.
Yeah. One of the you
People
had
used
one
to
of the
tell me I had the same form as him.
you had
I
one of the
watched
greatest
him
shooters to ever play the
religiously.
game type of vibe is what you're saying.
Bro, I had a great 3. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Insurmountable.
This is the
race.
problem with the game of basketball. I'm gonna tell you right now. So the other issue with this game is the player comparisons, right? Whenever someone asks me, what guy in the league was your game most equivalent to? You know, like what guy? I love that question because I love to always throw a wrench in that question. I always say Brian Scalabrine, and they're like, and the guy gets thrown off. He's like, yo, for real? I'm like, yeah, because why? Because he got into the NBA by the skin of his teeth, and if I was in the NBA, so would have I.
Yeah.
That's who. What you want me? What they want you to say is, yeah, well, you know, because I'm kind of tall and I can shoot a little bit. You know, I guess I'm kind of like a Dirk Nowitzki. You know, I guess I'm kind of like, but then sometimes my shot goes in more than other times. On those days, I'm kind of like Stephen Curry. But then on other days, I get like a lot of points inside, so I'm kind of like more like a Shaq or Carmelo. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm Brian Scalabrine when he was in high school. That's what my game is like. Because that's an accurate comparison.
Redhead Irish dude, right?
Because if we're actually being realistic, Brian Scalabrine in high school would have kicked my ass in high school because he went on to play in the NBA and I went on to play Division II basketball. I mean, maybe not kicked my ass, but he probably would have came off slightly superior. I love those comparisons. You got a kid that goes to LA Fitness and plays pickup in the basketball gym. Never played a game of regular high school basketball in his life, but he can hit a wide open 15-footer, so he thinks he's Del Curry. Yeah, I'm a lot like Del Curry. It's the only sport that does that. The comparisons are just delusion. I'm okay. How are we doing on time here? What are your Robbie? I love that you don't have a huge sports background, but I feel like there is a sport that you are elite in.
My oh yeah, I'm kind of a beast at ping pong. But yeah, my dad was pretty great and being involved with like coaching different rec teams. He would coach soccer,
Yeah.
and a little bit of basketball. My basketball shot is very confused. I unfortunately did a little bit righty, a little bit lefty, a little bit both. So like my basketball shot is like terrible, but I can defend, I can dribble, I can pass. But yeah, my shot's awful. But I like playing.
That's a smart person problem because you probably like when you first picked up a basketball, let's say hypothetically, you first shot it right-handed, and then you started shooting it right-handed a couple times, and then your brain went, that's too easy. Like, I need to make sure I can shoot with the other hand. So you went to shoot with the other hand because that's how your brain operates, and now you don't have a shot at all because you made both hands kind of shitty instead of one hand good.
Exactly.
That's funny.
But I love soccer. I was pretty good at soccer, but and then getting more into high school frisbee, stoner life. A lot of ultimate frisbee. That was fun.
Ultimate, yes, of course.
Well, we have mildly organized. Never so far as like green team versus pinstripe team. It was always just like, all right, you're on that team, you're on that team.
Yep.
But
Robbie Sco, high shorts in the college courtyard playing ultimate frisbee. Could you picture it any other way? I couldn't.
All right, guys, gotta go. I got a thermodynamics exam in 5.
Ultimate
Toss it to me
frisbee.
over here.
Ultimate frisbee at noon. Thermo at 1:30. Music lessons at 3. Bong hits at 4:45. NASA intergalactic space mission requisitions at 6. Just another Wednesday.
Doing sound for the theater department at 9.
Easy peasy. Guys, you can follow the show on Instagram, _Digestif. We post clips of the show. Gives you a little look and feel of what we're doing here. It's a lot of fun. You can also follow us on Spreaker. That's technically one of the platforms. Spreaker.
Oh, I guess technically is, yeah. That's kind of what I used to distribute, but
I felt like shouting that one out because we don't talk about Spreaker enough.
Look up
Spotify.
Give us a listen on Spreaker.
Give us a Spreaker listen. Spreaker listen, Spotify listen, Google Play, iTunes, YouTube, all platforms, guys. As always, just been the Digestif, guys. Feel free to follow the show, catch up on all the episodes because you probably got some catching up to do. I've been Sam Mushman, as always, comedian sommelier. You can follow me at Vino_comic, www.sammushman.com. That's how you know I'm a boomer now. Fuck, I just did it. Who the fuck drops their website handle with www? Jesus Christ, it's over. All platforms. That saxophone guy. Where else can they find you?
That's it.
I had a feeling. Robbie Sco.
www.robbiesco.com will give you a very vague info form to just like, it's like, what are your goals? and then I just you can just get started. I can just be like, oh yeah, you want to learn about camera tech or video tech or anything like that. So you can do that.
Your website is just an info form that collects information from people.
It literally is.
It had a goal of, I want it to be more, but also Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah.
RobbieSco.com website was built for one reason only, to collect data. It's a data collecting website so that he can sell it to Facebook. And it pays for him to up the rates in his music lessons. So if you go to RobbieSco.com, fill out the form, give him the data he needs so that his business platform can grow. Thank you guys. Have a great night.